Hi guys, today I would love to introduce you to one of my most favorite cracker recipes ever, and these are the falafel crackers. They are so simple, so easy, handful of ingredients, nut free if you need it to be nut free as well, and just so I guess healthy as well. So there's so many good things in this recipe. So let me introduce you straight away to this recipe. So first of all, oven on, that's already sorted. 2 pieces of baking paper, again I'm all sorted. I'll share that with you in a moment. Okay, first things first is a clove of garlic into the Thermomix. So I've got my trusty garlic paste that I've whipped up the other day with all my beautiful garlic cloves. So in that goes 1 teaspoon equivalent of that. On with the lid. And normally you would blitz that down. So 3 seconds, speed 7, and that would demolish that into what I've got now. So click on next, scrape down the sides. Okay, 20 grams of chia seeds. Doesn't matter what color you've got, use what you've got. In that goes. Oh, 24, that's okay. Next up, 50 grams of sunflower seeds. Now, if you didn't have enough of one of these ingredients, you could increase the portion of the other to make up for it. There is no reason why you can't do that. 50 grams of that. Okay, 50 grams of pepitas. All right. There we go, that's close enough. 50 grams of sesame seeds. And can you believe it? We're nearly done. So that's all of, no, one more, flax seeds, all of the dry ingredients in. Now I've got golden flax seeds, which are going to throw a very interesting colour to my mix in a moment. Okay, now half a teaspoon of cumin, and these are what make this beautiful. So this makes a beautiful flavour in this dish. So cumin, turmeric and oregano are your 3 flavours in here. You could mix and match and play with this a little bit, but it's absolutely amazing. Now, if you're making this in your Thermomix for the first time, just be mindful. Turmeric has a tendency to try and stain your lid. So not so bad in this recipe, but if you're making curries and stuff, you'll end up with a beautiful fluoro lid. If that happens, put it out in the sun. It'll bleach it off clean. Put it through the dishwasher a few times. It tends to come good as well. But honestly, the turmeric stain is part of a well-loved Thermomix. So don't worry too much about that. 1 teaspoon of salt. And then on with the lid. And here we go. We've got 2 wet ingredients after this to add, and we're all done. So 20 seconds, speed 8. Last few seconds, the mixture coming together into a ball. That's what we're looking for, is that combined sound. So let's click on next. Scrape down the sides with the spatula. Add 35 grams of water. Now, normally I'd say just chuck it in. Close enough's good enough, but try not to go too heavy. You don't want a really tacky, sticky mess at the end of this. So those of you who watch me all the time know that I'm pretty much a chuck it in cook and hope for the best. But I do know with crackers, it doesn't have much leeway when it comes to the liquid content. If you go too heavy, you're going to end up with sloppy crackers. It'll work, but it's just messy to deal with. Okay, perfect. And with the lid, and this is going to come together beautifully. Oh, back we go. Forgot to do that step. 20 seconds and we're done. I'm going to show you how we treat this dough, how we roll it out, and how we get perfect edges every time. So hang tight. Let me show you the tricks of the trade. Nearly done. Okay, I'm just changing that top camera down so that you guys can see what's going to happen down here on my baking paper in a second. So my dough is fully combined. And you even noticed I didn't even scrape down the sides and it told me to before. I'm going to pour this dough out onto the mat. Now I promise you it's a funky colour at the moment, but when it cooks it just looks beautiful and brown. So don't stress about the colour. It probably doesn't help that I use those beautiful golden linseeds. I reckon that's part of the funky colour. As well, of course, you've got the turmeric in there, which is so good for your health. So now, first things first with this, I like to use my baking paper because I don't want to get turmeric fingers, and I'm just pushing it together. I know it doesn't look attractive, but I promise you it's going to be worth it, into somewhat of a rectangle, because that's the shape I'm going to end up with. It will look a bit greasy, but it will be amazing. Now I'm going to grab a second piece of baking paper, and I've actually recycled this. I have a piece that I recycled from making crackers, and I'm just going to lay that on top. Now I'm going to grab my silicone roller. Now this is a fondant roller. You can pick them up in most kitchen shops or even Big W and places like that. They normally have little look like rubber bands on the end for rolling out fondant to be equal sized. I just love it. It's lightweight, it doesn't stick to anything, and I can push dough out so incredibly simple with them. So if you have a love-hate relationship with rolling pins, I would suggest getting yourself one of these. Now you can see I'm pushing this out nice and big. Then I'm going to show you in a second what we do to make it nice and straight so we don't have the sacrificial sides on your crackers. Because I know many of times I've made them and you end up having to cut off the outside edges because they're all jagged, yeah? Like if you're looking like, which side can you see that side? It's all jagged. Let me show you how we straighten those up to make it usable and beautiful. So give me a second. There we go. So have a look at this. I'll show you what I've done. Okay. So to fix these edges up so they're nice and neat, I'm just going to grab this edge because you guys can see this one. Fold your top layer out the way, then lift up your side layer, crease it over like that, just gently, and now grab your rolling pin, put this layer back down so the rolling pin stays clean, and push it through. And now you've got a perfectly straight, do you like that? Layer on the side, edge on the side, sorry. It was such a aha moment the day I figured out how to do this. So same on the other side, bend it over, okay, and then grab that rolling pin and ease it out to the ends. Now you will find there's typically one end that will have the odd little bit sticking out because it, you know, just the way it goes. But it means at least 3, well actually usually 4. It works perfectly. So I'm just going to fold the end over here. You can see here there's quite a large lump there now. So when I roll this out this way, this is what I mean by you'll have a little bit at the ends, that very last corner, that's not quite the same, but the rest of it, amazing. And if you push that down that way, you can cut that bit off or break that bit off if you want. There we go. Perfect corner. And then I'll put it down the other end. And the only thing left to do now is score it and put it in the oven for 25 minutes. So I'm going to finish this end here. You guys can see that on the camera. Roll it sideways a little bit and then roll it back down towards the other end. And now that is how you make square crackers where you don't have to throw off any of the ends. How cool is that, and how easy is that with baking paper? So take off your spare top piece, fold that up, put it away for another day. It is a bit greasy, but it doesn't matter. Get a piece of paper towel and give it a wipe over. Just going to put that up the back there out the way. Let me show you what I've got here. Look at that. Where's the camera? So now what we do is we grab a sharp knife and we score it. Just lost that bit there. Let's grab that bit. So open it back up. We're going to lay this on a tray in a moment. But you can see how nice that looks. And now we just score our pieces, and they're approximately 5 centimeters this recipe calls for. So you want to score it so that it's got a line to crack on later. Don't know if you guys can see this quite in the camera. I'm trying to be straight. Yeah, you guys can a little bit. There you go. So then we're going to put this in the oven, and it says 180 degrees for, where is it? It's telling us all the instructions on how to cut it. 25 minutes, 180 degrees, and then serve them up beautifully. So that, friends, is how simple it is to make crackers in your Thermomix, knowing exactly what's in them. No nasty colors, numbers, preservatives, additives, sugars, that sort of stuff. You can take control of the salt, although I would suggest that you don't completely remove all the salt from it. You'll probably find it's not quite going to be right, although you could probably swap in your veggie stock. Just might need to cool your oil level down a bit to compensate. But there you go, guys. Enjoy. I do hope you'll give this a go in your Thermomix. If you want information about Thermomix, might help you. If you want to get more help with your Thermomix and be inspired, subscribe and like to either my Facebook page or my channel so that you can see the updates I'm really passionate about making sure you continue to learn more about your Thermomix. You continue to get more out of it, more out of your investment, so you don't have to spend the money buying crackers, but you can make them yourself in your Thermomix. Have a fantastic rest of your day or evening, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. But do subscribe and like. Bye for now.